All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about a huge clash that's happening in the world of product development. It's this battle between the need for just breakneck speed and the slow, methodical pace of traditional user research. We're going to compare two really different ways of doing things, the AI-powered Atypica and the global research giant Ipsos, to see how they really stack up.
But first, let me ask you something. Just think about your last product cycle, that last feature you launched. Did your user insights actually keep up? Or, be honest, were you kind of flying blind, making decisions in the dark while you waited for some report that landed on your desk weeks too late? That feeling right there, that's the core problem we are unpacking today.
So, let's get real about what it's like for most teams out there. You're shipping code, you're iterating constantly, but the old ways of understanding your users, well, they just haven't caught up to how fast you're moving. And here's the heart of it, right? Product teams have questions every single day. Things like, hey, will users even get this feature? Or is our pricing right? Should we even think about entering this market? But when the answers take months to get back to you, you're stuck. You either have to guess or you grind everything to a halt. And let's be real, neither of those is a great option. So this whole problem has led to two totally different schools of thought on how to get insights. On one side, you have the big, established, enterprise-scale model for those definitive, rock-solid answers. And on the other, you've got this new model that's built from the ground up for quick, rapid-fire validation. And this table just lays it all out there. I mean, just look at the time to insights. We're talking 6 to 12 weeks for Ipsos versus 20 minutes for Atypica. That's insane. Or look at the cost, a minimum of 50 grand for a single project versus a predictable subscription. It's pretty obvious these tools are built for completely different jobs. Okay, so let's be clear about something. Ipsos is an absolute powerhouse. These guys are in over 90 countries. They are the go-to for those massive multi-country strategic studies. When you need that statistically significant, authoritative report to justify a multi-million-dollar decision to the board, their comprehensive, expert-led approach gives you the kind of heavy-hitting, confirmatory data you absolutely need. No question.
Atypica, on the other hand, is like a tool for the trenches. It's a self-service platform built for the product managers, the designers, the marketers, the people who have questions right now and need answers before their next meeting. It's all about making research a daily habit, not some rare, big-budget event. So this really brings us to the three metrics that define modern research for any team that's trying to move fast: speed, cost, and just plain old access.
Okay, so this is the classic research timeline. This might look painfully familiar to some of you. Just look at these stages. Weeks for design, weeks for data collection, weeks just for analysis. By the time this massive report lands on your desk, your product has probably shipped 3 new versions. The insights are for a product that doesn't even exist anymore. Now, compare that to this, 20 minutes total. You can literally have a question pop into your head during your morning coffee and have auto-generated insights before lunch. This changes the entire game. You're no longer just validating after you build something, you're validating before you even write a single line of code.
And then there's the money. With a project-based model, every single question you have could have a $50,000 price tag attached that forces you to ration your curiosity. A subscription model does the exact opposite. It encourages curiosity by making every extra question you ask essentially free.
And finally, there's access. The whole self-service idea removes the biggest bottleneck of all, people and process. There's no waiting around for a research team, no back-and-forth scheduling conflicts. Anyone on your team can get the answers they need right when they need them. And that's how you transform research from something you do once in a while into just part of how you work.
Okay, so theory is great, but let's see how this all plays out in the real world. I want to walk you through a case study of a SaaS company that was facing a really big decision, whether or not to enter a brand new market.
So here's the setup. They've got a healthy $80,000 research budget and a huge strategic choice to make. They decide to go the traditional route.
So they spent the whole budget on one of those big, comprehensive studies. It took 10 weeks, produced a massive report, and they followed its recommendations to the letter. And 6 months later, boom, it was clear they had made a huge mistake. The positioning was all wrong, and they were staring down a really painful, really expensive pivot.
And this is the real cost of getting it wrong. On top of the 80 grand they spent on that initial research, they burned through another $300,000 developing a product for a market that just didn't want it, at least not the way they built it. That's a total loss of almost $400,000. Ouch!
But now, let's just rewind and imagine a path B. What if they had started differently? Here, they first spend just a few hours with Atypica. It immediately flags that there's weak demand and some serious price issues. So instead of plowing ahead, they use the tool to iterate and test new ideas until they find a segment with strong, validated demand. Then, and only then, do they bring in Ipsos for a deeper, much more focused study on the right target.
In the financial outcome? I mean, just look at this. It's not even close. Path A ended in a $380,000 loss. Path B was a successful $70,000 investment. By using the right tool at the right time, the team not only saved over $300,000, but they actually entered the market successfully and crushed their targets.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, it leads us to what we could call a modern research playbook, and it's all about using the right tool for the right job. Think of this as your cheat sheet. You want to use a tool like Atypica for those fast, frequent, hey, what if kind of questions that pop up every day. You use it to get that quick directional feedback. You save the big guns like Ipsos for when you need that massive global scale, those absolutely definitive answers, or that heavyweight report to take to the board. You see, the most sophisticated teams, they don't even see this as an either-or choice. They use a blended strategy. They explore and de-risk their ideas in a matter of hours with Atypica. Then they deepen their understanding with Ipsos for those truly huge, must-get-right bets. And then they use Atypica continuously to optimize and improve everything they do day in and day out.
This quote just sums it all up perfectly. This isn't about one tool replacing the other. Not at all. It's about a new division of labor. You have a tool for the 90% of daily decisions that need speed, and you have a partner for the 10% of annual strategic decisions that demand scale and absolute certainty.
So, I'll leave you with this to think about. As you look at your own roadmap at the next big decision you have to make, is it going to be based on a gut feeling or on real user validation you can get in the time it takes to finish a cup of coffee? The tools to make that happen are here. The choice is yours.